Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're embarking on what I can only describe as a truly cinematic journey through salvation history. We're not just looking at myths here or quiet background figures. We are talking about major historical titans. We're going to trace an unbroken chain of phenomenal courage, divine providence, and literally world-altering decisions forged by the top 10 women of the Bible. These are the deliverers, the judges, the warriors, and the heralds who stepped right up when empires trembled and the very future of humanity hung in the balance. Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand the massive impact of these women, we have to look at the texts exactly as they were written. Back in 1943, His Holiness Pope Pius XII issued an encyclical that fundamentally changed how we read the Bible today. He pushed scholars to translate directly from the original ancient languages, rather than just relying on the Latin Vulgate. He wanted us to get as close to those inspired authors as humanly possible, giving us the crystal-clear modern lens we're using today.
And getting that close to the original texts brings up a massive, sweeping question for us to think about. How did the courage of 10 specific women alter the entire course of human history? You see, in the Catholic tradition, salvation history isn't just a series of random, disconnected events. It's this masterfully woven tapestry. And as you'll see today, these fearless women form the absolutely crucial links that keep that entire tapestry from unraveling.
Section 1. Translating Salvation History. Our precise guide for this journey is the New American Bible Revised Edition, or the NABRE. This is a contemporary Catholic translation, officially authorized for study and devotional reading. But what makes it so incredibly special for our deep dive today is that it was translated directly from the original Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic texts by dozens of Catholic scholars. It preserves these ancient historical accounts with this raw, unfiltered accuracy that is just amazing to read. We're dealing with a sweeping chronological scope here. We are taking a continuum that stretches all the way from the ancient, dusty battlefields of the Old Testament straight through to the 1st century and the incarnation of Christ, and bringing it right up to 1970 when the first NAB was published and the 2011 NABRE revision. We're literally connecting thousands of years of history right into your hands on a single continuum. Section 2. Deliverers in the Exodus. So, we begin in ancient Egypt, right in the middle of this incredibly harsh oppression where Pharaoh decreed every Hebrew baby boy had to be thrown into the Nile. Amidst all this terror, a baby is born, the future great lawgiver, Moses. But a baby can't survive an empire's wrath alone, right? So who ensured his survival? Who outsmarted the most powerful ruler on earth to keep God's plan alive? Now, what's really interesting about this is that the first two women on our list come from completely opposing sides of a bitter conflict. On one side, we have Miriam, the fiercely protective sister, who bravely stationed herself at a distance just to watch over that pitch-covered papyrus basket holding her infant brother. And on the other side, we have Pharaoh's daughter. When she discovers the crying baby among the reeds, she's moved with immense pity. She completely defies her own father's genocidal decree, draws the boy from the water, and names him Moses. It's an enslaved Hebrew girl and an Egyptian princess, inadvertently working together to secure God's plan for liberation. Section 3. Judges and Warriors. We move now into 20 years of harsh, brutal oppression under the Canaanite king Jabin. His general, Sisera, commands a terrifying force of 900 iron chariots. And here we meet our third titan, the prophet Deborah. She was judging Israel under a palm tree in the mountain region of Ephraim. But Deborah wasn't just a judge. She was a brilliant military strategist. When she commanded Barak to march with 10,000 men, he actually refused to go without her. So Deborah delivered this chillingly accurate prophecy recorded in Judges chapter 4. She told him, "You will not gain glory for the expedition, for it is into a woman's power that the Lord is going to sell Sisera." And that prophecy brings us right to woman number 4, Jael. Sisera's army is wiped out by Barak's forces, and the fearsome general is fleeing on foot. He desperately seeks refuge in the tent of Jael, thinking he's safe. She hides him under a rug, gives him milk, and just waits for him to fall into a deep sleep from sheer exhaustion. Then, in one of the most brutal, suspenseful, and unexpectedly decisive moments in biblical history, Jael takes a mallet, approaches him stealthily, and drives a tent peg straight through his temple and down into the ground. God humbled a Canaanite king that day, and it was entirely by the hand of a woman. Jael's brutal victory really echoes throughout the scriptures, and it finds a powerful parallel in woman number 5, Judith.
Just as Zhao drove a tent peg through Sisera's temple to free the Israelites, Judith stepped up in a later era to save the Jewish people by assassinating the enemy general Holofernes. Both of these women acted as unexpected, totally fearless warrior saviors when absolutely all hope seemed lost. And this brilliantly illustrates our sixth woman, who stood alone as the number one, the single royal figure brave enough to risk absolutely everything, Queen Esther. When a wicked plot was hatched in Persia to completely destroy the Jewish people, it was Esther who masterfully navigated the deadly, high-stakes politics of the royal court to save her people from total annihilation. Section 4. The Messianic Ancestors. Shifting our tone here from the blood of war to profound themes of quiet loyalty and divine lineage, we meet women number 7 and 8, Naomi and Ruth. The book of Ruth introduces us to a Moabite woman, a foreigner to the Israelites. After a devastating tragedy strikes, Ruth makes a profound oath to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Her immense loyalty, her generosity, and her absolute willingness to take real risks for the sake of righteousness set this miraculous, beneficial chain of events into motion.
So the crucial point is exactly how this lineage unfolds. Step 1, Ruth, a Moabite outsider, commits herself entirely to God's people. Step 2, this leads directly to her marriage to Boaz of Bethlehem. Step 3, she becomes the great-grandmother of King David. And step 4, she becomes a direct ancestor in the messianic line leading to Jesus. The inclusion of a Moabite woman in this sacred lineage perfectly and beautifully demonstrates the universality of Catholic salvation. God's grace, as we see here, is not limited by borders. Section 5. Heralds of the Covenant. Let's move to and see how this builds with our final two women as we transition seamlessly into the New Testament. On one side, we have woman number 9, Elizabeth. Even though she was thought to be barren and well past childbearing years, she possessed a deep, unwavering trust in God's promise. And because of that, she bore John, the herald who would announce the Messiah. On the other side is woman number 10, Mary. Elizabeth's deep trust connects directly to the supreme obedience of Mary, the Mother of God, who offered her ultimate yes, her fiat, to bear the Son of God himself. Mary really represents the absolute pinnacle of this cinematic journey we've been on. Every single act of courage we've talked about, from Miriam at the riverbank to Jael in the tent to Ruth in the fields of Bethlehem, it all culminates right here in Mary. As the texts describe, the incarnation of the Son of God through Mary's yes shared divine love with the human race, forever wedding earth to heaven. She is the ultimate fulfillment of all the women who fought, prayed, and lived to keep salvation history moving forward. From princesses and prophets to a humble girl in Nazareth, these 10 women didn't just witness history, folks. They forged it. They actively chose to be instruments of God's mercy and justice. And so, as we conclude this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to take with you. Knowing that salvation history is an ongoing, active reality, how are you called to participate in it today? What is your yes going to be? Thank you so much for exploring the scriptures with us today. Keep diving into those original texts and keep discovering the incredible history that shapes our world.